Good morning. You've reached What's on Scott's Mind. Now, this was supposed to be the week of slides. Unfortunately, and I will turn this around so you can see my computer screen. Unfortunately, the slides aren't done yet. I'm getting there. I'm just not quite done. So, one more week of the talking head, and then we'll do slides next week. This is my promo deck, and I always build a promo deck for my books. People invite me to podcasts, and I talk about my books when they come out on the podcast. So it's kind of, it's really important, valuable stuff. So anyway, but I'm going to use the slides as kind of a high level flow chart, right? So the four debts: managing debt and building AI solutions. So let's start off with the MIT study, 95%. I've covered it last week in depth, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it today. But just take a look at it. Came out in 2025. Great study. I'm very pro academic studies because they're in depth, they're rigorous, they're done very differently apparently than a lot of other studies can be done. So it's a good thing. But the other side of that, the other reality of that is that study talked about a 95% failure rate. And that was kind of the genesis of the book to me. I have, as I've talked about, the four debts, and underneath the four debts, there are embedded debts. And it's really important to remember that while there are the known big debts, the embedded debts underneath can drive the debt into a situation where it is overwhelming for an organization. So the four debts are technical debt, and again, I apologize, I'm looking over to the slides, data debt, personnel debt, and security debt. Security debt's dangerous. Personnel debt is overwhelming. Data debt can sink you. And finally, last but not least, technical debt. Most people spend a lot of time and understand technical debt pretty well. They don't often understand the other three. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. I was, I was over the course of my career introduced to a number of different security pushes to drive security into product development, into product life cycles, into the concept of products. So I've done that. I know what that represents. I know what that means. I know how people present that information. And so it becomes very critical. The next component: what is the four debts? Well, it's a field manual. It's a guide. It helps you as an organization be prepared so that you can move from where you are to an AI workload structure. It's very important that you balance the debts, that you look at the currency of debts, that you consider how to fund and defund the debts in your organization. Because if you just willy-nilly go on an AI journey, you're going to fail. It happens all the time. So, at a big picture, you want to diagnose, connect, pay down, and lead. So when we talk about that, first of all, diagnose means go find the debts, figure out what they are. Woohoo! I know what the debts are. The other side, right? Connect. Make sure you can put those debts together, that you know which one is driving which one, because personnel debt can drive technical debt. Technical debt can drive security debt. Security debt can drive the other three. And any combination of one can drive the other three. And any combination of one can take your project down. Ooh, that looked really good. It looked like my old days when I was a school teacher with the fickle finger of, all right, Johnny, answer that question, right? Well, but you get the reality, right? Any one debt can disrupt your project. Any one debt can make you fail. So, anyway, those are the four components. Pay down is simply taking a look at which debt can you pay down to make the other debts easier to manage. And finally, lead. So get yourself to a position where the executives understand the debts, understand what's going on, understand what they're driving towards, and ultimately build that structure. Now, I have two other books that are out already. One is Infrastructure for Designing AI Networks. It is around the concept of what is that traffic and what does it look like and why is that critical. The other book that I have coming out very soon is about designing AI data centers, or what I call an AI factory. So when you consider what an AI factory represents, when you consider what an AI factory is in the sense of what does that mean for the future, right? So what an AI factory does or doesn't represent in terms of what your organization needs. That's part of what LEAD is. But LEAD is also that the executives are aware of the problem. The easy button for an executive, honestly, today is press the layoff button. That's the easy button. But that's not the right button. Easy isn't always right. Staples did a great job. I love those commercials, right? Press the easy button. But the easy button isn't always the answer, right? We always have to go back to Frost's poem. Came upon a split in the road. I took the path less traveled. My life is the better for it. Remember that sometimes the best answer is not the easy road. The best answer is not the simple answer. You have reached What's on Scott's Mind for May 2026. Thank you very much for listening.